have a determination to achieve a goal set in his life, he'll be able to be successful. You focus on solving the problem, and all the noises you leave it aside. Students have access to so much of information. I think they are unable to process the information. It would be always better they get advice from some experts. Do not completely believe in luck. The outcome is always based on the decisions you make at various points. As long as you have a good support of family, friends, colleagues, you will continue to move forward. We do things only if we want it very badly. Ability to identify talents and nurture them, and thereby building a strong, high-performing team. Machine learning will become a requirement because that's how we can continuously improve the productivity, quality, and also safety. AI is going to make a big impact on repetitive tasks, and definitely that is going to be there. Rejuvenation of a lake, Kootagalli lake here, in the next 6 to 9 months' time will completely rejuvenate. Traditionally, whatever the mechanical engineering areas were there, still they have a lot of opportunity. Try to respond, don't react. That's a thing I learned, and I'm trying very hard to follow up on that. It is very, very important for people, whichever the area they are looking at is, they should be a good problem solver. Aim and dream big.
Hi everyone, this is Disha Dioxide, and today I'm here with Nagraj Gargeshwari, who is the President and Executive Director of Automotive Axles Limited. Let's hear about his journey and his experiences. How can an average student become a CEO, sir?
So I would say average refers to several things, whether it is intelligence or a hardworking or a problem-solving skills. So I would say that anybody who works hard and then who has the right skill set and also have a determination to achieve a goal set in his life, he'll be able to be successful.
Wonderful. So it doesn't matter if you're average or a brilliant student.
Yeah, so we have seen that a lot of people who are averaged in primary school, they become brilliant in a high school. And similarly, someone is average in high school, they become rank holders in college. And we have seen a lot of CEOs and top industrialists. They have come from a regular average, so-called average college. Right. So I think finally, I would say that it's a hard work and determination which is going to pay off in the end.
Sir. What is the best advice someone gave you, sir?
I think people gave a lot of advice in the last 37 years. But I would say that one of my manager always said that, hey, you know what, you focus on solving the problem and all the noises, you leave it aside. Right. Let's just focus on solving the problem, and that will lead you to success. And I think I believe that it's a pretty good advice, and I try to follow it most of the time, if not all the time. I've been trying to follow it.
Wonderful, sir. Do you have any specific mantra for problem solving? Because every guru on YouTube says there's this mantra for success, this mantra for things. So do you have a mantra like that?
I don't have one specific mantra. I'm a kind of a person, I kind of go with the flow and then try to make the best of the situation or best of the opportunity available. However, there are a couple of things I always kind of focus on. Right. One is what is the problem? Okay, the core problem. Is it a problem? Right. First, to find out whether it's a problem. So does it require a solution or is it a perception? So first need to understand whether it is a problem. Once the problem is there, then I look for what is the skill set that is required to solve the problem. Am I the right person to solve the problem, or do I need a help? Right. Or do I have that skill set in my team or elsewhere? Okay, so try to understand what is the problem and then what is the skill set required to resolve it, and then what is the outcome, what is the expectation. When you say this problem is solved, and if these three things can be cleared, then it's easy to solve the problem.
Wonderful, sir. And that also shows your leadership, I think. Delegation, saying that, am I the right person to solve this problem? A lot of leaders tend to say, oh, I want to do it myself, I think.
That tendency is there for an engineer. I think it's a problem with the engineers, because when the engineers see a problem, the first thing they want to do is, hey, I want to solve it. I know how to solve it. So the delegation is, many a times as you move up the responsibility leadership ladder, it is going to happen because there are so many problems out there. Right. You cannot solve it alone. Right. And then that is when you really start looking at your team and how do you leverage the skill set available in the team. Who is the best person and who is in the best position to solve this problem? And I think naturally it is going to come. And then, I think then you will get used to it, But I still feel that engineers' initial tendency is to solve the problem, jump in and solve the problem.
Wonderful, sir. What would you tell your younger self, sir, if you could?
I would say my younger self, why you didn't pay attention to biology and chemistry. I desperately wanted to be a doctor.
Really?
And I ended up as an engineer.
Oh.
So if I can wind back the time, I would probably, hopefully put all my efforts to become a doctor.
It's one of the dreams you let go for this career, sir?
No, it passed on, so I latched on to this one.
Okay.
So I became an engineer.
What is the mistake you see students making today that will affect their careers in the future, sir?
I wouldn't say that students are making any mistake compared to what we did or when we were students we did. But one thing I feel personally is the students have access to so much of information. I think they are unable to process the information.
Right.
Okay. So that way probably they are making a decision based on raw information or raw data rather than the information.
Right.
I think it's very important. I feel that the students to get a guidance, get a mentorship, so that when they make a certain decision, whether it is regarding the study or the field they want to choose, it would be always better they get advice from some experts, so that they will try to get it right the first time rather than doing through iterations or trials and errors.
Tracing back the steps.
Yeah, tracing back the steps. Yeah.
Was your path to success easy? Was it just hard work, or was there a combination of luck as well?
Okay, I'm one of those person who do not completely believe in luck. I think I personally believe that the outcome is always based on the decisions you make at various points, various stages of your life. So there are always options and you choose options, and that's how it turns into. Like I said, I, being a mechanical engineer, joined the electronic industry after 9 years, switched to the automotive industry. So those are all the choices I made.
Right.
And then obviously hard work is one thing, it is going to pay off. And luckily, like I said, I had mentors and managers who helped me to hone my skills, which required to, take up these roles.
Wonderful. Would you say you're a believer in the saying that there is no right decision, you take a decision and make it right?
It's a double-edged sword. Okay, there are certain decisions we know they are very obviously wrong decisions. But when it comes to the dilemma, okay, for example, when you are in the fork and then you are looking at, which way you want to take it, okay, and you have enough information available, like earlier I mentioned, if we have a mentors, if we have a people who can guide us, I think we should take it. And finally, once we make a decision, we need to stay with it and we need to make it right and make it happen. And thereby, we don't regret for making certain decisions.
Wonderful, sir. Did you ever feel like giving up? And what kept you going when you felt like that, sir?
We all go through certain stages where it is very difficult. for a moment you say that, hey, you know what, let's call it quits. But at that point of time, I think, one is definitely family and friends. And then also at the end of the day, within your heart, I can do it. And this is not a failure, or I'm looking for the next step. You're looking for the future. And that is the one which keeps you going. And I personally believe that, as long as you have a good support of family, friends, colleagues, you will continue to move forward.
Wonderful, sir. What sacrifices did you make to reach your current position, sir?
This is like luck. I personally believe that sacrifice is it's a very difficult term to understand the meaning of it, because we do things only if we want it very badly.
Right.
Okay, so that is not a sacrifice. That is basically you are working towards that. It is going to be hard, but you know that it is hard. But you are looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, or you are looking at the horizon where you want to reach. And so that way, the journey you are going to enjoy, even though it is going to be difficult. So that way, I personally feel that, sacrifice, probably I didn't do much of sacrifice, but one thing I kind of a little bit regret is, spending enough time with the family. Okay, right. So that is because of a lot of travels and everything. But otherwise, I think whatever the decision or options I chose,
no regrets.
No regrets. I wanted them, and that's why I chose them.
That's the true meaning of life. You live with no regrets.
Yeah, no regrets.
Wonderful, sir. What are 3 things or unique skills that made you successful, sir, according to you?
I think I personally feel that one is my ability to solve the problem.
Right.
Okay, so I'm kind of I feel, or at least I describe myself as a person who innovates. Right. So I've been able to find solutions for several problems. So that is one thing, and the second one is my ability to identify talents and nurture them, and thereby building a strong, high-performing team. Because without the team alone, I can be only successful to only some extent. So I think, and then obviously there is one more is there, a determination is there, or the goal you want to achieve certain goal in life. And these are all the 3 things I would say that help me to achieve or be what I am right now.
What are the main products manufactured by Automotive Axles, and which industry or vehicle types are your products used in, sir?
So we are mainly into the M and HCV segment, that is a medium and heavy commercial vehicles. Okay. So it is basically 7-ton GAW or gross vehicle weight, GVW. And then above, and going all the way up to 55 tons. Wow. We do also manufacture axles and brakes for off-highway applications and also defense applications. Okay. So we are mainly into the axles and brakes. And then we also have developed certain suspension products, which are again being used for heavy commercial vehicles. We also supply axles for tipper application in the mining industry. And then also defense applications, which is basically used in the Indian defense field. Okay.
What exactly do you feel was the difference shifting from a software company to something that is purely manufacturing, sir? Do you feel there are some lessons that you learned or something?
Yes, in fact, it really helped because when I was working in Wipro, when I started working in Wipro, I got trained on AutoCAD, so I started using AutoCAD, which was a CAD software at that point of time, especially for the 2D design. And then when I went to Singapore, started working for Maxter Peripherals, they introduced Pro Engineer at that point of time, which is a 3D software. So I learned 3D CAD there. And then I learned quite a few things about geometrical tolerancing, and then design, jigs and fixture design and everything, which kind of helped. And then when I came back to India, I joined Reva electric car company. So these skill set really helped me to quickly develop the capability in designing axles for automobile, getting a better understanding. And subsequently, after a year, when I joined Meritor, they had that time we were calling it as a India CAD Center. So the brakes and axles, they were a little bit new to me because so that kind of really interested me. And then when I started really working for the brakes, I learned a lot about the brakes, how they function and what are all the critical design factors and the applications and everything. So that really kind of motivated. And once I joined Meritor, which was like 27 years ago, I never turned back. Okay, so I continue to work here.
Wonderful, sir. How has your product line evolved over the years to meet the changing market demands, sir?
Yeah, so when we look at the Indian commercial vehicle, that is where we have a major share of business. So when I started in 2010, exactly supporting the Indian business, so there were more of what we call is a 4x2 trucks and then 6x2 trucks, which are smaller trucks. Okay. Over the years, then it became 6x2 and then it became 8x2. Now it is a 10x2. So that means earlier the truck was carrying like a 16 tons. Now the trucks and tractors carry all the way up to 55 tons. Wow. So that evolution, our product also has to, we have to make it, stronger, and also we had to increase the durability of our products. Right. And at the same time, there was a lot more focus on our efficiency and also lightweighting. Okay, right. So there was a lot of this work that has been done on the axle side. So now we have probably one of the best axles suitable for commercial vehicle for India, and then we sell it to all our supply it to all our customers. On the brake side, as the trucks started growing bigger, the brakes have to be much more stronger. Right. So essentially, there was a lot of work done on the brakes also. So we had to redesign the brakes. What we call is we developed a medium duty, heavy duty brakes. Wow. To meet the application and customer demand.
While driving, it might seem like a small part of the vehicle, but this is your entire career, your entire life, sir.
Yeah, so it is axles is I would say that it's a powerhouse, right? Okay. Right. So even though engine is there, something has to pass on that, drive to the wheels, and the axles what we design and what we manufacture is the key part of what we call is undercarriage, or transmission, where our product plays a vital role in everyone's everyday life, I would say.
We don't think about it very often.
Yeah, we don't think often.
It's very important. Could you explain how Automotive Axles ensures quality and reliability in your manufacturing process, sir?
Yeah. Automotive Axles, we have, it's a joint venture. It's a public listed company. It's a joint venture between Kalyani and Cummins now. Cummins drivetrain business, drivetrain and brake systems. Cummins earlier, drivetrain and braking systems has 100 years of history in US, So those axles have been already designed for applications in North America and Europe. They have been perfected. So the products, we took those concepts and developed and tailor-made it to the India application. So we take care of all the reliability requirements and design conditions and also the application needs when we design the product. Right. And then we follow with a robust manufacturing infrastructure, what we are having here. So that way we ensure both the reliability and quality in our product.
Right. What role does technology play in the development and manufacturing of axles and braking systems? And did AI have any impact when the boom happened recently?
Yeah, so the technology is coming into the manufacturing in a big time, and especially in the manufacturing industry, the main thing is automation, right? Robots, how we are utilizing automation and robots for, performing jobs. at times which is difficult or unsafe to human being, and also ensuring that repeatability and productivity is there. So we use a lot of robotics, which requires a lot of programming and everything. Apart from that, a few years ago we introduced IoT. Okay, so IoT is becoming a standard requirement. Industry 4.0 is becoming a standard requirement. So we have implemented already in a few of our production lines.
Right.
And now digitalization is another area which is coming up because especially every customer and everybody needs to have a traceability of our product, when it is produced, how it is produced.
Right.
If in future, touch wood, if there is a problem, we should be able to recall it or trace it back. So these are all the three areas. Obviously, in the back end, when you go ahead and look at it, a lot of IT systems are already playing, whether it is a SAP or any other software systems, and like I mentioned, CAD for the design and simulation. All these tools are becoming more and more important. As far as AI is concerned, it is we are still taking a baby steps at this point of time. But as we make more progress in terms of taking our automation level to 60-70%, then the machine learning will become a requirement, because that's how we can continuously improve the productivity, quality, and also safety.
Wonderful, sir. What is your opinion on the whole fear that had happened, that AI is going to replace all the jobs and it's not very good for people to use AI? What's your opinion, sir?
I think while I'm not an expert on AI, I think it is still far away. The AI can really, and I don't think that someone has to still keep designing that AI. AI doesn't happen. Someone has to build a computer. Someone has to do that initial programming. So that way, I feel that this is the same thing I remember. Like 30 years ago when the computers came in, people said that everybody is going to lose job.
Right.
What I thought was earlier only few people used to do the typing, and now everybody learned typing. So that way there is always a new opportunities is going to come, and I think that at least in the foreseeable future. I don't think a human will become irrelevant. I think we'll be still relevant, and we will be the one who will be, I would say, designing or making sure that we are controlling the AI. Of course, AI is going to make a big impact on repetitive tasks, and definitely that is going to be there, and which is good. So that way we can literally ensure that people are used for where we can do more ingenuity or intelligence that is going to come, or decision making task that can be assigned to the human, whereas all the repetitive tasks can be taken up by AI tools.
Wonderful, sir. Could you talk about your company's corporate social responsibility, sir?
So, Automotive Axles, we've been involved in the CSR activities for a long time. And our focus areas, we have three focus areas. The first one is obviously it is health. So we work with many institutions, health institutions and hospitals, providing health care for the needy people. On a specific, certain specific areas. The second one we are focusing on is environment. We have done quite a lot of work in the area of environment, sustenance.
Right.
So we have planted tens of thousands of trees in and around Mysore, and also in the Bandipur forest. We also work together with the forest department in drilling the bore well and then making water available for the animals, especially during the summertime. So right now we are working on rejuvenation of a lake, Kootagalli lake here, which was completely spoiled. Now in the next 6 to 9 months time, we'll completely rejuvenate it, and we are creating a park there so that the residents can have a nice morning or a evening walk and then spend the time by the lakeside. So the third one area is education. So education, we look at two areas. One is in the primary education. So we work with several government schools, providing them the required infrastructure. It could be the school building, it could be the computers, it could be the tables and benches, or the building itself. So we continue to support the primary, especially the government schools. But other than that, we also focus on how do we support the technical educations. So in those areas, we do quite a bit of, for example, industry visit for the college students. They can come, take a look at our product, look at the process. They can learn from that. We sponsor, internships so that people can come here, work for a short period of time in our company, and then learn about our product, process, and systems. Other than that, we also sponsor, certain technical institutes, which for a development of skills like, welding and other fitting, those kind of skill sets. So we do sponsor. So we continue to, in fact, recently we just now installed a materials lab at Vijayawardaka College, which will be training people who are graduated with a SSLC and a ITI, so that they will be trained to work in a materials lab. We continue to invest in these three areas.
You've done an extremely good job of giving back to society, sir.
Yeah.
What general skills do you look for in a potential employee, sir? And what skills are in demand in your industry?
So in our industry, the demand is, like I mentioned, there are 3 or 4 areas out there. Lean manufacturing is one area where it is catching up. Like I mentioned earlier, automation is another area. Okay. Apart from that, the what we call is machine maintenance and troubleshooting is under electrical. Even though it is people earlier, it used to be a pretty a good subject, and then we are seeing very few people coming out with the required skills, especially in the heavy electrical systems and maintenance. So this is more on the mechanical side, but otherwise, like I mentioned, IoT is another area where a lot of opportunities available, and combined with PLC programming. And then supply chain. So I think traditionally, whatever the mechanical engineering areas were there, still they have a lot of opportunity. But again, the challenge is, do you have the right skill set to meet those job specification or job requirements?
And what about general soft skills, sir? Like confidence or leadership abilities?
So I think, this is exactly what is going to happen. We personally feel that, it is many a times it's easy to teach the hard skills, because hard skill is easy to learn. The soft skills, whether it is communication, whether it is ability to, like I said, certain, analyze a problem, or being a team player, okay, and then have a confidence and taking a little bit of risk, okay. I think these are all the skills. I think it is always required, no matter how good the hard skills are. They are very, very important for a person to, get into an industry or a company or an institution and also become successful. These are all kind of, I would say, prerequisites. And good thing is, companies like Automotive Axles, we continue to focus on development of soft skills. We have several training programs is there, especially during the induction when the new graduate engineers they join us. They will go through all these trainings, so that there is an opportunity for them to hone their skills, which will really help them in their rest of their career.
Wonderful, sir. What or who was your biggest motivation, sir?
My motivation, a lot of people are there. Like I said, many mentors. I think, and also like when I hear like I said, when I joined my first job in computer, okay, so learning that computer, I wanted to learn the computers, how to use it and everything. And similarly, there were many managers, successful managers were there. The way they were managing a project, the way they managed the team. So I kind of, really got motivated. So this benchmark kept on changing over a period of time. We had new mentors, new managers, and then new skills to learn. That's how it kept me going.
What's one of the most memorable lessons that you learned from a manager, you would say, sir?
One particular instant. Okay, so we were having some discussion, and then there was an email which came to me, and then I was really upset for whatever, something didn't happen. So I just responded to the email a little bit harshly. Oh. So next day when I was having a meeting with my manager, he told, you always get frustrated. Okay, next time when you get frustrated and when you want to reply it in an email, you type in, keep it there before, don't send it, you keep it in draft. Evening you read it. If you still think that you have to send it, you send it. Otherwise delete it. And okay. I think, that's one lesson I really learned, many a times in a heat of a moment we respond or react. We don't respond, we react. Right. Try to respond, don't react. That's a thing I learned, and I'm trying very hard to, follow up on that. And I personally believe that's a very good advice.
Wonderful, sir. What are your personal goals and how do you spend a day off, sir?
So my personal goal is to run a marathon under 4 hours. Okay, oh. So that's my personal goal. I've never run a marathon, so I just run for fun. So that's what I do. When I get time, I go for a run. I read, some fictions, and then I also listen to music. So wow. That's how I spend time. And once in a while, I go for a long drive. I also like to go for a long drive.
Please let me know when you complete that 4K run, sir.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge achievement.
Oh, yeah.
What is the future trend in jobs and how can students prepare for them?
So like I said, there is a job because there is some problem has to be solved. So that means, initially I told you, there is a problem, there is a skill set required to solve the problem. Right. So I think this nature of problem continuously is going to change. Right. Okay, I think people or the students need to be really focused on, not focus on the current trend. Okay, because at the end of the day, problem solving is a skill which you can utilize in any of the fields, whether it is a mechanical, whether it's electrical, whether it's a computer science. Okay, I think that is one of the important thing. And second thing, like I mentioned, ability to look at the data and convert it into useful information. Right. So how do we read it? That is another skill set which is very, very important. Obviously, there are tools. I would call AI and everything else is a tools. Of course, you need to be familiar with the tools so that right. You can be very productive and you can be very efficient. But it is very, very important for people, whichever the area they are looking at is, they should be a good problem solver. Right. And then, of course, then comes, other skills like your ability to, work within a team. Okay, and your ability to inspire, your ability to lead a team, those are all the skills, you have to develop over a period of time. So within a college environment, people participating in, whether it's a hackathon, whether it is any other event, so actively participating and thereby getting that kind of know-how or a skill set is very, very important.
Could you give 3 tips to students who aspire to become successful like you, sir?
Again, first one is they need to aim and dream big. Right. Okay, so if you don't want it, or if you desperately need it, you will get it. Okay, so once you know what you want, okay, then make sure that you have the required skills to achieve that.
Right.
Okay, how do you develop the required skill? And the third one is never say die attitude. I would say that there are always ups and downs. There are times where you are going to hit the wall and there are obstacles, and your ability to go beyond that is going to really help you to achieve your goals in life. So I think these are all the I think at least there are 10, maybe 20 maybe there, but these three things I personally feel they are critical for anyone to become successful.
How important was networking in your career, and how can students develop their own networks?
Like I said, there is a problem.
You
need to know who has got the skill set.
Right.
It is not just to know who has the skill set, your ability to persuade that person to
solve the problem.
And especially, and also networking is very important, especially if you are in a area like a supply chain and everything. So you need to know exactly which companies are there, who is there, so that you can get those deals or contracts done as quickly as possible.
Right.
And then also where to find, if you are a manager, if you have an open position, where to find it.
Right.
Okay, so I think, and similarly, you have a problem, which institution can work with you to get a solution. So I think that way it is very important for you to have a network, even in your professional life. That will make it, a life easier, and you can get a much, better and quicker solution if you do have the network. And as far as the students are concerned, I think there are a lot of tools are available. I think for professional, one important this one is a LinkedIn. Okay, so LinkedIn you can get connected to a lot of professionals, and then apart from that, there are so many local bodies out there. Okay, so it is important for them. For example, YI Young Indians is there. Okay, there are so many associations out there, which will kind of give you a different kind of contacts and give you different kind of networking.
Right.
And then it is going to really help the students.
Honorable mention to CII, which you are a chairman of. Yeah. So I think that's also a wonderful organization for students.
Yes, yes.
Now we'll move on to the rapid fire questions, sir. What is your favorite food?
I would say bisi bede bhat.
Oh wow, yeah, a very authentic dish to Mysore, I think.
Yeah, yes.
Wonderful. If you could trade places with anyone for a day, who would you be and why?
I would say that it's MS Dhoni.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Because he's my, I would say I'm a big fan of him, and also he's a hero. And mainly because of his calmness and everything. I want to really look at it, what does he do in a day? So definitely I want to, change place.
Wonderful, sir. If you could be a superhero, who would you be?
I think I would be more of a Batman.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with a celebrity, who would it be and what do you like about the celebrity? Same again, MS Dhoni, sir?
I think, MS Dhoni, I heard that, he literally relishes food, and I want to look at it, what is that he likes, and then, I can
but
share
it
that.
would be a little difficult to trade places with him and also have dinner with him.
No, morning I will trade places with him, and evening I'll have a dinner.
Wonderful, amazing solution, sir. Again, problem solving.
Problem solving.
What one book would you recommend to people to read, sir?
I think recently I read the Ikigai. Okay, so that's a very nice book because we do all these things, finally you want to be happy, right? Yes. Okay, and then, and also there is a purpose in life. It is not just, while you are working or while you are a student. It is for the rest of your whole life. What is the purpose of, and what is your role, I would say, in this life. So I would really recommend people to, read that.
Wonderful, sir. What kind of music do you listen to, sir?
Usually I listen to Indian, but I also listen to soft rocks and then also blues.
You don't seem like the rock kind of person, sir.
It's like I have some friends, and then they kind of rubbed
Oh, they
on me.
influenced you. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What is your favorite movie, sir?
It's a very old, not very old. It's a probably yeah, it's old movie. I'm a fan of Vishnuvardhan. So there's
Oh,
a movie
nice.
called as Bandhana. So that
Okay.
came in when I was in high school. So I really like that because it's based on one of the novels.
Okay.
So I like that movie.
Wonderful, sir. What is your favorite childhood memory, sir?
There are several. I think one thing, or probably two or three things, I still remembered. I used to get very much excited. So I was living in Srirangapatna. So any fairs, we used to have that, right? Jatre. When you
Right.
go
Yes.
for that, I really love that. Because you always. That is when my dad would give me some pocket money which you can go out and spend. That is one thing I used to like. And similarly, we used to come to Mysore for Dasara exhibition. Okay, so when we were very young, that was like a Delhi Papa, the big one, used to be always, like a delicacy. I would enjoy that. I also used to get excited when I go and visit zoo in Mysore Zoo. I still love it. Once in a while, I'll go there. I love wildlife.
Okay.
So that way, spending time in zoo is something I really, really, really.
Wonderful, sir. What's one thing you're still learning in your field, sir?
I think there are several things I'm learning. We continue to learn. I think one area where last few years after I took this operation role, I'm looking at is lean manufacturing. So how do we implement lean manufacturing? How do we emulate the Japanese style of manufacturing? So that's one area I continue to look into and also learning in that area.
Thank you so much for your time today, sir. I know you're a very busy man, and I think I learned quite a bit from you, especially from the engineering perspective. I think from as a business student, there's not much we look towards that side. So it was invaluable information for me, and hopefully it is for the people watching as well.
Thank you, Disha. Really appreciate you taking time, and then it was wonderful, having a conversation with you. And I hope this information will be somewhat useful for the students and especially your audience. And again, wish you all the best, and then continue to do this, with more and more people, so that the student community is going to get benefited.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, sir. Thank you for watching.